Are you our new mommy? The question came from three small voices at once, three 6-year-old triplets speaking in perfect unison, their tiny hands moving in signs as smooth as their words, their eyes wide with desperate hope. The woman standing there, the beautiful woman with tears still fresh on her cheeks from the humiliation she'd just endured, froze, her breath catching in her throat. This is the story of a deaf woman left alone at a blind date dinner her own parents arranged to help her settle down. Of a family that smiled politely while stabbing her with words she could only read on their lips. And of three children who believed in miracles the moment they saw someone who finally spoke their language. My name is Alexis Ramsey. That night in the elegant restaurant of a Las Vegas resort, my parents had set up this meeting with a man they thought would take care of me forever. They spoke softly, but every word cut deep. "We think it's time Alexis understood her limits," my father said calmly. "She needs someone patient for the long term, not a real marriage." Lauren, my sister, smiled and added, "Yeah, she needs someone really patient." The table went silent. I read their lips, my heart sinking. When the dinner ended, they stood up. "The atmosphere isn't right anymore. We'll go ahead." "Think about it, Alexis." They walked away without a glance back. As they left, I caught their whispered words just visible on their lips. "We should never have had her. She was a mistake." They left me standing there alone in the middle of the glittering room, like an unwanted piece of furniture no one wanted to claim. If this story touches you, please tell us in the comments. Have you ever been quietly rejected by your own family because of something you couldn't control? Share your story. We're listening. Where in the world are you watching from? We love seeing how far these stories travel. Alexis sat frozen at the table long after the chairs around her were empty. Her fingers trembled as she reached for the water glass, but it slipped, spilling across the white tablecloth in a slow, dark stain. The waiter approached, concern on his face, asking if she needed anything. She nodded once, unable to hear his words, only seeing the movement of his mouth. The room around her buzzed with laughter from other tables, conversations flowing freely, but for her, it was all silence, a thick, isolating wall. Every glance from nearby diners felt like judgment, every clink of silverware a reminder that she was alone in a room full of people. She pushed her chair back slowly, careful not to draw more attention. Her purse felt heavier than usual as she stood smoothing her dress with hands that still shook. The exit seemed far away, the carpet thick under her feet. She kept her eyes down, focusing on each step, trying to hold herself together. But as she passed a nearby table, her shoulder brushed against a chair. It wasn't hard, just a light bump, but enough to make her stumble slightly. A few items slipped from her purse, her phone keys, a small wallet. She bent down quickly, cheeks burning, reaching for them. Before she could gather everything, a hand appeared, picking up the keys and placing them gently in her palm. She looked up. The man was tall, with dark hair and calm eyes. He knelt beside her, not crowding, just helping. His hands moved in clear ASL. "Are you okay?" Alexis blinked, stunned. No one had ever signed to her like this in a place like this. She signed back automatically. "Yes. Thank you." He smiled a little. Signing again. "I'm Ryan Thompson. My son is deaf, so we all use ASL at home. I saw what happened earlier. You don't have to talk if you don't want to." She stared at him for a moment, processing. No pity in his eyes, just quiet understanding. She signed, "I'm Alexis. I didn't expect anyone to notice." Ryan nodded, still kneeling. "It's hard when people don't see you. But I do." He didn't push, didn't offer to walk her out or make a scene. He simply stayed there until she had everything back in her purse, then stood and offered his hand to help her up. She took it, feeling the steady warmth for a brief second. Behind him, three small children sat at the table watching curiously. One boy with short brown hair was already signing something to the others, his movements quick and excited. The two girls leaned forward, eyes wide. Ryan glanced back at them and signed, "Be patient, kids." Alexis felt a small smile tug at her lips despite everything. The children looked so earnest, so unfiltered. Ryan turned to her again. They're triplets. Noah is the one who's deaf like you. The girls are Sophia and Ethan. Wait. Ethan is the other boy. They don't always understand boundaries, but they mean well. She signed. They're sweet. Ryan chuckled softly. They are. But they can be a handful. He paused, then added, if you need a minute to sit down or just breathe, there's an empty chair at our table. No pressure. Alexis hesitated. Part of her wanted to run to escape the room and the memories of the night. But another part, the part that had been invisible for so long, wanted to stay just for a moment where someone had actually seen her. She signed, okay, just for a minute. Ryan led her to the table, pulling out a chair. The children immediately turned to her, their faces lighting up. Noah signed first, slowly and carefully. Hi, I'm Noah. Alexis signed back. Hi Noah, I'm Alexis. Sophia waved, then signed, you sign like us. Ethan nodded vigorously, signing, Dad taught us because of Noah. Alexis felt something loosen in her chest. For the first time that night, she wasn't alone in her silence. The children didn't ask why she was upset or what happened. They just started signing about their favorite games, their school, the funny things their dad did. Ryan watched quietly, letting the conversation flow. She answered their questions, signed stories back, and laughed, really laughed at Ethan's dramatic reenactment of a school play. The room around them faded. The glittering chandeliers, the other diners, the spilled water, it all became background noise. When the waiter came to clear plates, Ryan signed to her, you don't have to leave yet if you don't want to. She signed, I think I'll stay a little longer. And just like that, in the middle of a night that had started with rejection, she found a small pocket of kindness. Not dramatic rescue, not pity, just people who spoke her language literally and figuratively. The children kept signing, pulling her into their world. Noah showed her a drawing he'd made on a napkin, a stick figure family holding hands. Sophia asked if she liked animals. Ethan wanted to know if she could do cartwheels. Alexis answered each one, feeling the weight of the evening lift bit by bit. Ryan stayed nearby, not hovering, just present. When she finally stood to leave, he walked her to the door, signing, if you ever want to talk again, here's my number. He handed her a card. She took it, signed, thank you, Ryan, for everything. He smiled. Anytime. As she stepped out into the cool Las Vegas night, she felt something shift. Not hope yet. Just the possibility that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as alone as she'd thought. The three children couldn't contain their curiosity any longer. They slid off their chairs and hurried over, their small feet pattering across the carpet. Noah led the way, his hands already moving in quick, excited signs. Sophia and Ethan followed close behind, eyes wide with wonder. Noah stopped right in front of Alexis and signed slowly, deliberately, you understand, ASL. Alexis knelt down to his level and signed back, yes, I do. Sophia tugged on Ethan's sleeve, then signed with clumsy but earnest gestures, you understand, Noah. Ethan nodded fast, adding his own signs, like us. Alexis smiled, a real one this time, and signed, exactly like you. The children looked at each other, exchanging quick glances of silent agreement. They didn't bombard her with questions about why she was alone or what had happened earlier. Instead, they pulled her gently toward their table, signing as they went. Noah signed first, what do you like to play? Alexis thought for a second, then signed, I like drawing and reading stories. Sophia clapped her hands and signed, me too, I draw horses. Ethan signed with energy, I like running and jumping. Fast. Alexis signed back with a playful shrug, not as fast as you probably. The children laughed, the sound bright and unfiltered. Noah signed, do you get sad sometimes? Alexis paused, then signed honestly, "Yes, sometimes, but not right now." Sophia signed, "Why not now?" Alexis looked at each of them and signed, "Because you're talking to me the way I talk." The children beamed. They sat her down at their table, pushing crayons and napkins toward her. Noah drew a quick picture of a house with 4 stick figures, then signed, "This is our home. Dad, me, Sophia, Ethan." Alexis signed, "It's a nice home." Ethan signed, "You can come visit." Ryan watched from a short distance, leaning against the back of a chair, giving them space. He didn't interrupt or hover. He just observed a small smile on his face as the children drew Alexis into their world without hesitation. Sophia signed, "Do you have brothers or sisters?" Alexis signed, "I have one sister." Ethan signed, "Is she fun?" Alexis hesitated for a moment, then signed, "Not always." Noah signed, "That's okay. We have fun here." The conversation flowed easily. The children asked about her favorite colors, blue, her favorite animals, cats, and whether she liked ice cream, yes, chocolate. They didn't treat her like someone different. They treated her like someone interesting. Alexis found herself signing more freely, laughing at Ethan's exaggerated faces when he tried to mimic a dinosaur. Sophia showed her a drawing of a princess, signing, "This is me when I grow up." Noah signed quietly, "I like building things, like towers." Alexis signed, "Show me." He grabbed a napkin and folded it into a simple shape, signing instructions as he went. Alexis followed along, her hands mirroring his. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel the need to explain her deafness or apologize for it. It just was. Ryan finally walked over, signing, "They're not overwhelming, you are they." Alexis signed, "No, they're perfect." He signed to the children, "Time to finish eating, kids." They groaned in unison but obeyed, gathering their drawings. Noah signed to Alexis, "Will you come play again?" Alexis signed, "I hope so." Sophia signed, "Promise." Alexis signed, "Promise." Ethan signed, "Bye." They waved, signing the word over and over until Ryan gently guided them back to their seats. Alexis stood feeling lighter than she had all evening. She signed to Ryan, "Thank you for letting me talk to them." Ryan signed, "They liked you, and you were good with them." She nodded, then turned to leave. As she walked toward the exit, she glanced back once. The children were waving their small hands, moving in perfect sync. For the first time in years, the silence inside her felt a little less heavy. Noah Alexander Thompson signed with pride, his small hands forming each letter carefully. "That's my full name." Sophia Grace Thompson followed, her signs graceful and quick. "Sophia Grace Thompson." Ethan James Thompson bounced as he signed, "Ethan James Thompson." Alexis signed back, "Those are beautiful names. I'm Alexis Ramsey." The children nodded as if sealing a pact. Noah signed, "I like building things. Towers, bridges, anything that stands tall." Sophia signed, "I like drawing. Horses, princesses, flowers, everywhere." Ethan signed energetically, "I like running and jumping. Super fast." Alexis signed, "You all have amazing talents, I can tell." The children grinned wide. Noah grabbed a napkin and started folding it into a tiny tower, signing step by step, "Fold this way, then this way." Alexis copied him, her movements matching his. Sophia picked up a crayon and sketched a horse on another napkin, signing, "This is for you to keep." Ethan signed, "Now let's play a game." They launched into a simple charades game using only signs. Noah acted out, building a castle, swinging his arms like hammers. Sophia guessed right away and clapped. Ethan pretended to be a race car, zooming in place until Ryan signed gently, "Easy, Ethan." Alexis joined, signing and acting out, drawing a picture. The children guessed, quickly giggling when she overdid the brush strokes. They slowed their signs naturally when needed, making sure she could keep up without any fuss. No one paused dramatically or asked if she was okay, they just flowed with her. As the game rolled on, Alexis felt a quiet shift inside. In this small circle, her deafness wasn't a barrier to explain or a flaw to fix. It was part of the rhythm, nothing more. The children didn't look at her with pity, they looked at her with curiosity and joy. Noah signed, "Your turn again." Alexis thought, then signed and acted out, reading a book. Ethan shouted the guess in signs, "Story time." Sophia signed, "I love stories too." The game continued with more rounds. Sophia acted out, riding a horse, galloping in her seat. Ethan did, jumping over hurdles, leaping dramatically. Noah built an invisible bridge with his arms. Alexis laughed freely, her signs becoming more animated. Ryan stayed back watching without interfering. He signed occasionally to remind the children to share turns, but he let the moment belong to them. When the children started to tire, Ryan signed, "Time to wrap up." They groaned but started collecting their napkins and crayons. Noah handed Alexis the folded tower, "For you." Sophia gave her the horse drawing, "Keep it forever." Ethan signed, "You can come play more." Alexis signed, "I'd like that very much." Ryan signed to her, "They don't do this with everyone, you must be special." Alexis signed, "They're the special ones." The children waved goodbye, their hands moving in unison. "Bye, Alexis." Noah signed, "See you again." Alexis signed, "See you again." Sophia signed, "Promise." Alexis signed, "Promise." Ethan signed, "Bye." They waved until Ryan guided them back to their chairs. Alexis stood the warmth of their small world staying with her. She signed to Ryan, "Thank you for this." Ryan signed, "Thank you for playing along." Alexis turned toward the exit carrying the napkin tower and horse drawing. As she stepped outside, a genuine smile lingered on her face, the first real one in a long time. A few weeks later, Alexis's phone buzzed with a new message. It was Ryan. "The kids keep asking about you. Would you like to come over to our place just to say thank you for playing with them? No pressure." She stared at the screen for a moment, then typed back, "I'd love to." The address he sent led to a quiet neighborhood in the suburbs of Las Vegas, far enough from the Strip to feel peaceful. The house was large but welcoming, 2 stories with a wide porch and a backyard visible from the driveway. Alexis parked and walked up the steps, her heart beating a little faster than usual. Ryan opened the door before she could knock. He signed, "You made it. Come in." The interior was warm and lived in, soft lighting, family photos on the walls, toys scattered in organized chaos. On one wall hung a large painting that looked expensive, abstract colors swirling in a way that caught the eye. In the corner study, she glimpsed blueprints spread across a desk, architectural drawings of buildings labeled with Thompson Projects. A housekeeper appeared, nodding politely to Ryan. "Good evening, Mr. Thompson. Dinner is almost ready." Ryan signed to Alexis, "That's Maria. She helps with the house." Alexis signed, "Thank you for having me." Before she could say more, the children rushed in from the living room, holding a handmade banner that read, "Welcome, Alexis," in colorful markers and glitter. Noah signed excitedly, "We made this." Sophia signed, "For you." Ethan signed, "Surprise." Alexis's eyes widened. She signed, "It's beautiful. Thank you." The children pulled her into the living room, where a small table was set with snacks and juice. They presented their gifts one by one. Noah handed her a smooth stone painted blue. "This is a worry stone. When you're worried, rub it. I painted it myself." Alexis signed, "It's perfect, Noah. Thank you." Sophia gave her a bracelet made from colorful beads. "I strung it. The colors are happy ones." Alexis signed, "I love it, Sophia." Ethan presented a drawing of the 4 of them holding hands. "That's us. We're friends now." Alexis signed, "You're right. We are." She felt a lump in her throat, but it was a good kind. The gifts were simple, handmade, and full of thought. No one had ever given her something so personal without expecting anything in return. Ryan watched quietly, signing, "They planned this all week." Alexis signed, You didn't have to do this. Ryan signed, we wanted to. The children led her to the backyard where they had set up a small picnic area with blankets and more snacks. They played a quiet game of tag and signs running around the grass. Alexis joined in chasing Ethan until he squealed with laughter. As the sun set, they sat on the blanket. Noah signed, do you like our house? Alexis signed, it's wonderful. Feels like a real home. Sophia signed, you can come anytime. Ethan signed, yeah, every day. Ryan signed to them, let's not scare her off. The children giggled. Maria brought out dinner, simple pasta and salad. They ate together, signing about school-favorite cartoons and silly jokes. Alexis signed to Ryan, this is more than I expected. Ryan signed, the kids missed you. And honestly, so did I. She looked at him surprised. He didn't push the moment, just let it be. After dinner, the children showed her their rooms. Noah's was full of building blocks and model sets. Sophia's had drawings pinned to the walls. Ethan's had sports equipment everywhere. When it was time to go, the children hugged her tightly. Noah signed, come back soon. Alexis signed, I will. Ryan walked her to the door, signing, thank you for coming. It meant a lot to them. Alexis signed, it meant a lot to me too. As she drove away, the house lights faded in the rearview mirror. She touched the worry stone in her pocket and smiled. For the first time in years, she felt truly seen, not as someone who needed fixing, but as someone who belonged. Alexis often thought back to the night that changed everything. 7 years earlier, she had been driving home from work when a car ran a red light and slammed into her side. The impact threw her against the window, and when she woke in the hospital, the world was silent. Doctors explained the damage to her auditory nerves was permanent. Deafness settled in like a heavy blanket, muffling sounds she once took for granted. At first, her family tried. Her parents visited daily, bringing flowers and magazines. Lauren came too, but her visits grew shorter. Conversations became awkward. People spoke slower, louder, or not at all. Her parents started talking over her head as if she wasn't there. It's hard, her mother said one day when Alexis wasn't looking. She can't keep up. Her father nodded. She's become a burden. They didn't say it to her face, but she read the words on their lips when they thought she wasn't paying attention. Lauren was worse. She would sign poorly on purpose, then laugh when Alexis asked her to repeat. It's just easier for everyone else, she said. Over time, family dinners stopped including her. Holidays became days she spent alone. Alexis learned to smile and nod, pretending she understood. But inside, the silence grew louder than any sound ever had. Ryan's past was different, but no less painful. When the triplets were born, he had been overjoyed. His wife Emily had seemed happy at first, but as the reality of 3 babies set in, she withdrew. Late nights with feedings and crying wore her down. One evening, she packed a bag and left. I can't do this, she said. It's too much. She didn't fight for custody, just signed the papers and disappeared. Ryan raised them alone, learning ASL for Noah, working long hours to keep the family business afloat. He chose a simple life, hiding the wealth from his family's real estate empire to shield the children from pressure. They attended public school, played in the yard, and knew their dad as just Dad. In the present, Alexis's visits to Ryan's house became more frequent. She arrived for dinner one evening, helping Maria set the table while the children ran around. Noah signed questions about her day at work. Sophia showed her new drawings. Ethan challenged her to a race in the backyard. After dinner, they sat in the living room. The children played quietly with blocks while Ryan and Alexis signed on the couch. Ryan signed, the kids light up when you're here. Alexis signed, they make me light up too. He paused, then signed slowly, I need to tell you something. She waited. Ryan signed, I like you, Alexis. Not just because you're good with the kids, because of you. The way you listen, the way you laugh, the way you make everything feel easier. Alexis's heart raced. She signed, I like you too. more than I expected. He smiled, reaching for her hand. I didn't want to rush this, but I can't pretend anymore. They sat in comfortable silence, hands intertwined. The children noticed and signed excitedly. Are you staying forever? Alexis signed, maybe. Ryan signed, let's take it slow. The evenings continued like that. Alexis helped Noah with building projects, teaching him new folding techniques. She read stories to Sophia, signing each page. Ethan dragged her outside for games of tag, laughing when she pretended to be slow. One night, after the children were in bed, Ryan and Alexis sat on the porch. He signed, I never thought I'd find someone who fits like this. Alexis signed, I thought I'd always be alone. He signed, You're not alone anymore. She leaned her head on his shoulder. For the first time, the future felt possible, not perfect but shared. Their connection deepened without fanfare. Ryan shared stories of his business, careful not to mention the scale. Alexis talked about her job, her dreams of traveling. They laughed about small things, signed about big ones. The children started calling her by name more often with affection. Noah signed, You're part of our team. Sophia signed, Like family. Ethan signed, Don't leave. Alexis signed, I won't. Ryan watched it, all his feelings growing stronger. He never used his wealth to impress her. Dinners were home-cooked, outings were simple park visits. It was enough. One evening, as they watched the sunset from the backyard, Ryan signed, I want this every day. Alexis signed, Me too. Their hands stayed linked as the sky darkened. The silence between them was no longer empty, it was full of promise. 1 year later, Ryan chose the same resort restaurant in Las Vegas, where everything had started. He had reserved a private corner table overlooking the lights of the city. The children were dressed in matching shirts with Yes printed in bold letters, giggling as they waited. Alexis arrived in a simple dress, unaware of the plan. Ryan signed, Remember this place. She signed, How could I forget? They sat down, the children bouncing with excitement. Ryan took her hand and signed slowly. Alexis, you've changed our lives. You brought joy back to our home. I love you not for what you do, but for who you are. He knelt, pulling out a ring. The children held up a small banner they had made. Will you marry us? Alexis's eyes filled with tears. She signed, Yes. Yes to all of you. They kissed soft and sure as the children cheered in signs and small voices. News spread quickly. Photos from the proposal appeared on social media, shared by friends. Alexis's family, Robert, Patricia, and Lauren, saw them online. A few days later, her phone lit up with messages. First from her mother, We saw the news. We're happy for you. We've missed you. Then from her father, Family is family. Let's talk. Lauren sent a longer message. I was wrong. We all were. Remember when we used to play together? We want to be part of your life again. Alexis read the words, feeling a mix of old pain and new caution. She didn't respond immediately. They called. Her mother spoke softly. We've been thinking about everything. We were wrong to push you away. Please let us make it right. Her father added, We love you, Alexis. Come home for a visit. Lauren joined. I'm sorry for how I acted. I was young and stupid. We can be a family again. The apologies felt familiar, half-hearted, wrapped in nostalgia and duty. They didn't mention Ryan's work yet. Alexis signed to Ryan about the messages. He signed, It's your choice. She waited. When she finally agreed to a short meeting at a neutral cafe, her family arrived eager. They hugged her, tears in their eyes. Her mother said, We've missed you so much. Her father nodded. You're our daughter. Lauren smiled. It's good to see you happy. They talked about old times, shared memories. Then casually her father mentioned, We saw your fiancé manages big projects. The Thompson name is known in real estate. Her mother added, Maybe we could work together. Family helping family. Lauren signed. It would be great for everyone. Alexis felt the shift. The apologies weren't about her, they were about opportunity. She signed firmly, "This isn't about business." Her father signed, "We just want to be involved." Alexis stood up. She signed, "You've had years to be involved. Now it's too late." She left the cafe without looking back. Ryan waited outside. She signed, "They wanted to use you. Us." He signed, "I'm sorry." Alexis signed, "I'm not." It made things clear. They walked away together, the past finally behind her. Alexis drafted the letter herself, keeping it formal and firm. It stated clearly no further contact of any kind, no calls, no messages, no visits, effective immediately and permanently. She had it notarized and sent via certified mail. Then she blocked every possible way they could reach her: phone numbers, emails, social media accounts. The action wasn't driven by anger, it was a boundary for her peace. Her family received the letter but didn't challenge it legally. Instead, the old story from the resort night resurfaced online. A few photos from that evening posted by a witness gained traction. Captions and comments spread. "How do parents abandon their deaf daughter like that? This is heartbreaking." The discussion grew, shared across platforms. People recognized the names, and the family's business connections noticed. Ryan's side of the family, the Thompsons, caught wind through their network. When Robert and Patricia tried to renew talks about potential collaboration citing family ties, Ryan's team reviewed the proposal. They declined politely, citing unrelated business priorities. The large deal Robert and Patricia had been pursuing fell through. Investors pulled back. Their company, already facing market pressures, struggled with cash flow. Opportunities vanished one by one. Lauren's situation unfolded separately. The online attention reached her workplace. Colleagues asked questions, some uncomfortably. Under the stress during a team meeting, she made a sharp remark about people who can't keep up in fast-paced environments. A coworker filed a complaint. HR conducted a routine investigation, reviewing the comment against company policy on discrimination and inclusivity. The finding was clear: it violated standards. She was terminated following internal procedures. No public scandal, just standard protocol. Alexis heard the updates through distant friends. She didn't seek them out. She simply focused on her life. Days turned into routines filled with warmth. Mornings started with Noah showing her his latest construction projects. Sophia shared her drawings over breakfast. Ethan challenged her to races in the yard, always letting her win just enough to laugh. Ryan managed his projects quietly, always home for dinner. They signed about small things: the children's school events, weekend plans, dreams for the future. One evening, as the children played nearby, Ryan signed, "This feels right." Alexis signed, "It does." The children ran over, piling onto them in a group hug. Noah signed, "You're our mom." Sophia signed, "Always." Ethan signed, "We love you." Alexis signed back, "I love you all too." Ryan signed, "We're a family." Alexis looked at them and understood what she had learned through pain. True family isn't defined by blood or shared history. It's the place where you are accepted completely, without conditions, without hidden agendas. It's where love shows up every day, in the quiet moments, in the laughter, in the support that asks for nothing in return. She signed to Ryan, "I finally feel like I belong." He signed, "You always did. We just needed to find each other." As the children laughed and played, Alexis felt the weight of the past lift completely. The silence that once isolated her now connected her to Ryan, to the children, to a future built on acceptance. If this story touches you, like and subscribe to Spread More Hope.